All right, welcome to the our first vice presidential debate for the United States Armed Forces. These are our candidates right here. We got our beautiful candidates. We got Max. We got Kid Ken. Then we got Toaster. All right, all three trying to get vice president. So Max over here, he is the general of the Marine Corps. Kid Ken, what's your rank?
I am E1 Air Force.
He's an E1 in the Air Force. Toaster, what's your rank?
Um, uh, I'm Private Toaster, and um,
Cool. All right,
the
folks.
Marines.
Judging about all that, I think we know who's gonna win. Anyways, let's begin. All right. Kid Ken, we'll start with you. What's things or what are you gonna do for this group, and what do you plan on doing for the group?
Well, you see, there's something that we are lacking in severely, and that is, of course, more people, right? So, what I want to do is get a lot of people, and I know how I can do that, right? So, what I'll do is I have. Oh no. Anyway, yikes.
Is that it?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Sorry, I have a little bit of dementia. Sorry.
Nope, you're all good. You're
Anyway,
all good. All
yeah.
right, Max, same question. What would you do for this group?
Okay, for this group, I pledge that I shall decrease the workload, keep and control not secure, keep unity within our group, so there shall be no chaos, and recruit more people because that is one of our biggest issues as a very new group. All we need to do is get a proper schedule on recruiting, and I will be organizing that if I become vice president.
All right, Toaster, same question. What would you do for this group and for this community?
I would legalize chemical weapons. I would force, autistic people into joining the Marines, and then, wait, Crayon.
All right, wonderful.
Toaster is not taking this seriously.
Yep, I can see that. Cool. Let's see. Actually, just go do speeches. I don't care. Ken, do a speech. Figure something out. How are you fit for this
Okay.
position? How are you fit for this position over these two, and our other candidate that is not currently here?
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, you see, I believe I am
did not
fit
prepare for
to
this.
be the vice president because, well, other than this fellow over here, that wants to legalize chemical weapons
They're already legal.
and force autistic people to join the military, Marine Corps specifically. Now, and then this fella right here, which I do believe has a very good chance. I've done. Oh, okay. I've done these things.
May I give my own speech?
I've done the.
I mean, you're not trying to really get in, but I mean,
I've done these things before, and
also get into dress uniform.
now I've never had
Wait, like in
people
a suit?
such as these beside
Yeah,
me.
your dress
and
uniform, your
you see,
service dress.
I believe in
Oh, I said I was gonna like go up there
in
and just give like a little
us,
speech.
America, and
I mean, if you want,
just
You don't
the
have a
US,
suit.
in your service dress.
all of us, right? And here's the thing.
Yeah, getting your nice
Like-
uniform.
I
No,
I
like
will
your
help
nice
Oh.
uniform.
protect
Which one is that?
American, right? Our rights as
The Marine
as
Corps, nice
fellow
uniform.
Americans.
EMP?
There's people trying to
Oh, I didn't
make
have that. Sorry.
guns
Oh, okay.
illegal.
I'll
Like
take it.
that's horrible. And
Change it to your rank and everything.
I will help. I will help make America great again.
All right, Max, do you have anything to counter that argument?
Well, so there are several holes in your claims, sadly. I do believe what you're saying is great for us. However, I believe that I can bring together everyone's unique strengths and put together the best army that this world has ever seen. Not just VR chat, but this world.
Mm.
It's a huge claim, but if we don't reach for the skies, where are we gonna get? In the 8th line of the creed, of my creed I have taken, of the Army Junior ROTC creed, it says, I do not lie, cheat, and or steal. I follow this with all of my heart. Meaning, everything I say here today, I will put into full consideration. And I will enact everything I have offered up to this server.
Toaster, do you have anything to say?
I did not plan out anything, so rah rah.
All right.
May I give my
Cool.
speech?
Sure, go for it. I mean, I guess.
You guys stay up there. You guys can stay up there.
I mean, just so you know, I mean, this doesn't. Are you trying to apply? I mean, are you trying to become vice president?
No, I want to give a speech.
Okay,
just
go
in
for it.
general.
Sure.
So, everybody in our group, all of the army and civilians, when you're voting for the people that you are, think which one of these three men, or wherever the fourth is, will be the best. Me, Red, and everyone else here wants the best, only the best for our group. So you have to think who would actually be the best choice for you, and who would do the best. Do not vote the people like, actually no, but just
That's
vote
name calling,
for-
that's unjust.
Sorry, but just remember, vote for the person that you think will do the best for our country, and also make sure that when you vote, do not choose the wrong people. Thank you.
All right. Anyways, cool. Now
I
do
don't
like the
prefer
normal
anything.
debate thing and argue. Like what do y'all do? This is boring. Argue.
Rah rah.
Okay. Anyways, cool. I need to think of other questions. Do you have any other questions to ask them? Ask them a question.
I have I do have a question in general. How would you make the group bigger? Because I know that was one of the major concerns of all of you.
Regular recruiting, we would have a schedule, like a weekly schedule of when to do recruiting events. That way we can plan weekly who's going to be there, who's not. Then we could get the most amount of people out of small recruiting events.
Right. So a quick question for you. We have these things called recruiting bases that we do, but as you know, as you've seen, we don't get many people. How do you plan on changing that and doing an additional event to further add to our members?
I say that alongside the recruiting base, we send out a small squad of people to recruit. So they would be brought back to the base and trained up. Essentially, mass conscription, but it gets more people into the server.
Would this be during a recruiting base, or would this be a different time?
That would be when it works best.
All right. Do either of you have a better idea on recruiting?
I think we should force children into the military. That's even better than autistic people.
Kid Ken, how
Toaster
about you?
really is not taking this seriously.
Yeah, well, that's up to the people to decide.
You know what?
Alright.
Hold up.
Kid Ken, how about you? What would you do?
Oh. Well, if I'm going to be honest, my idea was literally just the same thing he said. So
Hey, Red, can you
nothing
check
more to
who
say.
reacted to the messages on
Hold on, I think I know where this is going. Well, let me look at this real quick. One moment, it's loading. Oh, we got a sixth thing. Let's see if it lets me look at it. All right, let's welcome our new member to the we're gonna add another candidate here. Canadian, go ahead and step up there. Welcome your new candidate, Simply Canadian, also known as Leo, the Colonel, right? Colonel, Corporal,
I'm a corporal.
Corporal of
Corporal.
the USMC.
Mhm.
All right, Canadian. What about you? What would you do for this group?
So, one of my major concerns for this group, I would say, is kind of similar to both of these guys, which is recruitment. We definitely need more people, but also, I think what we also need is a bit more of like an organized, not like organized, but a more centralized kind of like way to handle things. I would say the gate mostly is like kind of like sloppy with its security. I think we maybe need to like fix that up a little bit. Not like anything bad though. Just like, make it a little bit more, I guess, like manageable. I would definitely say that one of the things we also need to do is kind of like make a lot more things just make it like a little bit more less complex to understand, and definitely the main concern, which is what these guys talked about, recruitment.
I see. Now, how would you benefit our recruitment?
I would say we can make our own branch of the U.S. Armed Forces. This is basically like we can make our own branch, which can be like the recruitment branch. We maybe get like 10 people in it, maybe a little bit less, and we can send them out into these other servers, find possible recruits, and then when we call open for like trainings and stuff like that, we can bring them all in and basically just get them all trained up, and then we can build up our members and even more, just build up the army and get more stuff in there.
Would this be an MOS or a subdivision of a specific branch of the military? Because, like you said branch, or do you want it to be a separate thing on its own, or how would you do that?
It would basically okay, so like like how the branches like the Navy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It'd basically be like its own branch, but it's just like not like an official branch, but it's just kind of like a branch that's kind of like just kind of there just to recruit people
Focus on recruitment.
more specifically.
Canadian, I have something to say about that. Okay,
Go ahead.
so
All right, we're getting a little bit of
how do you know?
conversation. This is good.
So branches that need more people are going to be more desperate to get more people. So, say, what if more people keep joining the Marine Corps and all of the other branches are not filled out? That's why if we have an entire new branch, it's not a great idea because they're just going to put people into like this little like waiting phase of like, which branch do I want to join? And then say they want to go to the more active groups like the Air Force or the Marine Corps.
That's a
What do
good point, actually.
So
We could like name off the branches, and what I'm thinking is like we can name off like all the branches of the army, and we can ask like which one do you possibly want to join, and then they can choose, and then like they can get trained in that specific branch.
yeah, but then again, that's going to lead to the same outcome of the Marine Corps and Air Force being the most active, whereas Army, Navy, Coast Guard are going to be so inactive.
So that is a fair point.
Does anyone else have anything to say about this or other ideas?
Hmm.
No. All right. Does
Well,
how would any of you go about changing the group, as in make subdivisions or more MOSs or something concerning that nature, or training courses and anything concerning that nature? How would you go about that?
Can I speak for this one?
Yep. Don't raise your hand. Just speak. I don't care.
All right. So I would like to help the generals with this. So instead of you being concerned about all of the branches, I, as vice president, hopefully, can be assisting the generals in the proper organization and division of all of the branches.
All right. Does anyone else
So,
have anything to say? Oh, sorry. My apologies. Continue.
so essentially, I'd be pretty much just taking your job for that part, mainly, and just kind of seeing what the general wants with the server and executing that.
Very well. Does anyone else have anything? Nope. All right. Let's see. How would you succeed where others fail? As in, concerning the, um, it's a VR chat group, which means coming with a VR chat group, there is a lot of unprofessionalism, which is okay to a point. It's okay to joke around and stuff, but when we're on duty, on base, and all this other stuff, especially while there are other possible new recruits in front of us, how would you educate our cadets or our already high ranking members on professionalism, drill and ceremony, and other information about the group, if and like to where they know what their job is and what they're going to be doing in the group? What
So
would you do about that?
I'd say
Uh,
you speak for this one.
okay. So I I can see that that is a big issue, and it gets to the point where it can misinform other people and things of the sort. So, other than simply talking to them and informing them, which is what you would do first, of course. But if that doesn't work, then there's only so much you can do to a point. Like, even if you sent you could, even if you decided to send them or tell them all the rules and all that, yeah, we could have um like sort of, in a way, enforcers of of um these certain things.
All right. Max, did you have something to say about this as well? And also, Canadian, go ahead and fill that spot that Toaster was at, because he just left.
Okay.
Max, did you have anything
Okay.
to say?
So what I wanted to say is that to promote discipline and professionalism, I say with some of our mandatory bases, we do mandatory drill ceremonies. So perhaps like flag detail, despite not exactly being able to do flag detail, we could still do some marching, some basic discipline, and I guess just like practicing standing at attention pretty much.
Very well, very well. Anyone else have anything to say about this?
Yes, I will. How I think we can promote discipline is one of the main things we can do is maybe we can train up some more military police and we can have at least one or two on base at a time, and basically they can just kind of walk around and they can like give like warnings like, hey, you're not like being, like formal, that's like 1 warning, then like 2 warnings, and then like if there's a 3rd warning, then they get like a strike or something like that. If like we're supposed to be formal and like everything like that, and they're not doing that, then we can have like 1 or 2 military police on duty, just to kind of like overlook that and give them like a warning if they're not being like formal or anything like that.
All right. And the last question for today's thing, unless you all have questions or other things to say, how would you approach our drill instructors? Because as of right now, we have just had our high com members, including myself and the generals and stuff like that, training up new recruits and training them for different certifications and things like that. How would you go about getting more of those and promoting that as a job, as a drill instructor? And if you did, what rank do you think would be suitable for that position?
Okay. Personally, I would say that we make it mandatory that E5s to E7s are required to do some sort of drill instructing or recruitment as a part of their duty as a soldier. So, like sergeants would likely be drill instructing. Once they get past that and get to like E8, E9, then yeah, then you just kind of like you have more of like the commanding stuffs. So you'd kind of get to chill out with high com and like organize squads, organize platoons, and stuff like that. So I say E5 to E7 is the rank that we would make it mandatory that you do some sort of recruiting or instructing.
Concerning that, as currently the drill instructor sort of thing is in MOS, are you suggesting we remove that and make it a requirement? And if so, how would that work with uniforms on base? Would they just keep their drill instructor uniform or only put that on during a training event?
I say so instead of removing the MOS, we just make it like sort of an add-on MOS. So you would kind of be put into reserve from the MOS you're actively serving in. However, you would be a drill instructor for your time as senior enlisted.
All right. Anyone else have anything to say about this?
I do.
Go ahead.
That like kind of like the same with him, but it's like E5 would be a like a suitable one for drill instructors. However, it would be like an optional thing. Like you wouldn't be required to do it, but you can choose to do it. But basically, we would have like a kind of similar like training program where you would have to like make the drill instructors go through like what kind of drills that that they would have to do during their training, kind of like walk them through it a little bit, kind of like tell them like what they have to do, how they have to do it, stuff like that. And then like if they did like very well, like if they did, good, then they can pass on and become one of the drill instructors. If they didn't do so well, maybe just keep them as like a normal person in their branch as like something like that. But like, just kind of like walk them through like a bit of like a training on what they have to do. They don't do too well, then they just stay how they are, and then if they do good, then they can become a drill instructor.
Very well. Does anyone have any closing statements before we head out?
Mm-mm. Nope.
No one? This is your time to speak. This is your time to speak. I will give it about 15 more seconds.
America.
Fuck yeah.
America. And
All right.
guns.
All right. Cool. If y'all would step down here, or actually, one more thing before we go. All of you standing on that podium. The vice president role is a big role. It is the second in command of the entire country, and it is something that should be taken very seriously. By becoming the vice president, you are yielding all your rank and your MOS So let's say you are military police, you are no longer military police. Let's say you are a general or an E7 or 08 or whatever rank you are. That all goes away. You are no longer doing that. You are now vice president. If you oversee something, then you no longer oversee it. You are now the overseer of the entire United States military. This is me saying this. If you are running something and you are I suggest trying to find a replacement. I'm not, but being vice president does not mean you fully leave that position, that job. That you will still oversee, you will still run everything. The only thing is you are now at a higher priority. You're at a higher rank. You are no longer in your current branch. You are now in something bigger. So take this into consideration. And with that, have a wonderful evening. All right, and cool. Y'all are good to come down. We are going to reopen the base. If you would like to participate, you may. If you would not like to participate, that is also fine. You are dismissed.